Having watched all of the Charlie Brown films, I've moved on to the various TV shows, and this includes Peanuts, which originally was released in 2016. And the first segment of the first episode is Come On Snoopy, and I was quite surprised to see that each segment's only about 7 minutes. I was expecting them to be a bit longer, because that means obviously the two segments making one episode come to about 15 minutes, give or take. But I have to say, I actually quite enjoyed it, and I thought it had a lot of substance to it, a good variety. I might be bigging it up a little bit more than it's worth, but actually I thought it was pretty good. But it is quite different to other Charlie Brown and Peanuts cartoons, mostly with the editing style. But Come On Snoopy focuses on, well, Snoopy. We have, I think, 4 separate stories in this one. Each one's kind of self-contained, but Snoopy moves from one to the other very easily, and it starts off with Sally doing show and tell, which was absolutely adorable. We have one with Lucy and Snoopy, and then we have Charlie Brown and Snoopy, and it's great to see the different characters interacting with Snoopy, and I think they all have very different approaches to interacting with Snoopy, which I think is something that works well. I don't want to say too much more about the individual stories because, as I said, it's only about 7 or 8 minutes, and I don't want to spoil too much, as I do recommend it. But it was quite nice. I wasn't sure how I'd feel with this first episode because I'm not the biggest fan of Snoopy as a character. But having said that, I thought it worked very well, and I rather enjoyed it. In terms of the animation style, the colour palettes are gorgeous. There are a lot of soft colours, pastels, all of the things I love in an animation. Beautifully done. The animation style is classically Charlie Brown, but some of the colour washes over it are not traditional as such. And we have this kind of comic book strip where we go from one scene to the next as if we're moving from panels in a comic strip. And if Charlie Brown, for example, Charlie Brown is talking about something in the past, and we see it being animated on screen in these comic book strip panels, which I thought was definitely a very creative way of showing it, but it does separate it from other Peanuts and Charlie Brown shows, which I guess is a good thing, because what's the point in doing them all of the same? But it's just something that's worth bearing in mind, that it does have quite a different feel to other Charlie Brown cartoons. But the characters are obviously very recognisable. Unfortunately, IMDb doesn't really have any information on the voice cast, but I will say the voice cast is very good. There is some information on the voices, but not for the first episode, so I can't be 100% certain that the same people voice the same characters. But if I do find out for certain who voiced in this episode, I'll put that information in the description. But I thought it was beautiful, really good fun, very well edited and animated, and yeah, it is slightly different in style, but it's good that they've put their own stamp on it rather than just, you know, repeating things that we've seen 1,000 times over. So credit to it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good and definitely worth watching. I do stand corrected. I've just done a quick Google as I was looking for the names of the cast. Apparently there is one set English voice cast, so I think presumably the same actors voice the characters throughout, which is not the same for Charlie Brown, This Is America Charlie Brown, according to IMDb. But I stand corrected, there are 3 segments in the first episode, and presumably 3 going forward. So that means that each segment is actually closer to 21-ish minutes, which is a little bit more, a little bit closer to what I was expecting. So actually that's not too bad. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really nice start. Nice different variety of characters, Sally, Lucy and Charlie Brown, with Snoopy of course. It seems like there's a lot of variety. Just having a quick glance on Wikipedia, there's a lot of variety in what the episodes focus on. So I'm really looking forward to going forward and, you know, checking out the others. But for now, Come On Snoopy was a pretty solid beginning.